What's up, everybody? Welcome back to PLD Projects. I am alive. I am back to mostly full health, and our schedule is going to be crazy for a couple days as we really screw everything back in and get it, make up for lost time as we work. So, I missed a couple episodes of things, but we're going to go full force for the next couple days, catching you guys up. And we figured we'd do something a little special. You see the Declassified logo below. This is not technically an episode of Declassified. But this is something special we don't get a chance to do very often. Matty Gunner, my friend, he got to see the premiere of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 in London alongside his Twitter buddy, Tom Cruise. So we decided, since we don't get to do this very often, let's throw out a non-spoiler review. And I have not seen it, so I'm really here for moral support only. I'm going to be listening just like the rest of you guys to see what Matty has to say. I'll be asking questions. I do have this live stream going, so if you do have any questions you want to ask Matty that are non-spoilery, feel free. You obviously been watching us. Obviously, you've been watching us doing Declassified the past few weeks. We just recorded our episode for Rogue Nation. That should be coming out tomorrow, and Fallout be coming on Sunday. And yeah, we're gonna go live. Maybe not live, but we're gonna do Dead Reckoning next week on. I believe we're gonna do Wednesday, but that's stay tuned for the scheduling. Matty, my friend, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. We've just recorded our podcast for Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which we had a really great discussion. Dead Reckoning came up a couple of times in it, not in a non-spoiler variety, which I should highly stress. This is a non-spoiler review. I will be giving away nothing because I feel this is a movie that absolutely deserves that respect given to it. Yeah, I am very, very fortunate. Like, I count myself very lucky that I got to see this movie. It came about a friend of mine, someone I'm very close to, who is of more social influence than me, contacted me and said, I'm going to the Mission Impossible premiere. I know how much Mission Impossible means to you. I know how much Tom Cruise means to you. Would you like to come with me? And of course, I said,
lucky son of a bitch.
I absolutely said yes. I like that. I moved every plan I had that day. I moved, and more than anything, just being in the same room as like my hero, who like it was incredible. Like seeing him, like I didn't get to meet him. Obviously, he was surrounded by security, but like you could. There were certain moments where you could like see him from afar.
Right. Even that.
The way that he works the crowd and he works with the fans. That I know he was in Rock of Ages, and I know Rock of Ages kind of sucks. That man is a bone of. It's pretty. He's great in it. I would say he's great in it.
I'd watch just for him, honestly.
Speaking of Alec Baldwin, who is also in Rock of Ages with Tom Cruise,
that's true.
He is a bona fide rock star. He is in a sphere of his own.
Yeah.
When he is in this room with someone, he commands. Everyone is looking at him. Like there could be like a fight could break out right next to him. You wouldn't be looking at the fight. You would be looking at Tom Cruise.
Right.
And like seeing Rebecca Ferguson in person.
My other wife.
Oof. She has. This isn't. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. She almost has that Dame Helen Mirren aura of like just elegance and beauty around her, but she's so funny and so witty, and like you would hear her with the press that like she's cracking jokes with the press, and like they see like she seems to enjoy the process of being an actor and being a star. And this was kind of my first. I mean, I went to the premiere of King Arthur when that came out, but I was solely there just for the free booze and the chance to be in the same room as Guy Ritchie.
Right.
This one was like, I am here to see this movie and pay attention and just take in like the atmosphere of everything.
Right.
And there was a moment that really, really got to me of Macquarie as well, who is like, you see him in interviews like quite shy almost like kind of not shy, but like reserved. Like he feels like now he knows he's Tom's right hand man.
Right.
He is Tom's second in command. I don't think we will ever see them. I would be shocked if they never work together in some capacity going forward on everything Tom does now. And
it is like one of those kind of things. Now you have like the Scorsese and
Scorsese
De
and
Niro and Scorsese Leo recently. Exactly, those kind of combinations. Wes Anderson and Bill Murray. Is those people who kind of like just do those kind of roles together? That makes sense to me. I feel like you're spot on. I mean, it could maybe do some things apart, but I have a feeling they'll be well aware of each other, continuing going forward. Real quick, sort of say hi to Kelly in the chat saying she's got Matty gushing for at least 5 minutes. I think you're underselling.
Yeah, definitely underselling.
Of course, Galactus, William Harold, she is Rose the Hat and Perfect. Yes. Dr. Sleep, one of my favorite horror movies of the 2010s, and she is one of the reasons I loved her so much. He also says, wait, is that why Tom ages so slowly? Did Rose hook him up with some good steam? You know what? That would actually make a whole lot of sense. That would make a whole lot of sense there, Galactus. So,
speaking of steam, the chemistry between Tom and Rebecca,
which is amazing considering Tom is impossible to have chemistry with.
That as I said, we talked about it on the episode that we just recorded. There was a photo of the two of them where it's almost like she's like hanging off of him, right. Kind of, and like it looks like she's probably whispering something in his ear, but it looks like she's about to like give him a kiss on the cheek,
right?
And it's almost like, whoo, like has she cracked the crew's code? But going back to McQuarrie, hearing him, and this is coming from his mouth that. This might not Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2. This might not be it. He's already got plans in mind for number 9.
That is a big not spoiler, not because they're a non-spoiler review, but that is a big revelation because all the announcements said that Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2 was going to be the send-off to Ethan Hunt and to the Mission Impossible franchise. But here we are saying, nope, we're going to keep going. I mean, I guess it makes sense to me. Like if he's 61, you might as well get as many as these ones in while you can still do these kind of things. And if he feels good, do it. Why not? I could have Tom Cruise doing nothing but Mission Impossible movies for the next like 10 years and then moving on to something else at that point. I'm excited. I'm excited that they're not gonna end. I'm hoping it does continue because they have been, like we mentioned in all of our declassified episodes, this has been the most successful or rather consistently good franchise in action. What was I say? Andreas, good to see you in the chat. No, Matty did. Matty got to see it at the UK premiere with TC Legends. I have not. I'm just here as moral support and to be the channel of the audience, asking some questions.
Yeah, I got to see it.
So we are 8 minutes in. We haven't barely talked. We only talked about the premiere. Let's get into the freaking movie. All right, I want to hear about it.
Let's talk about the movie. Do you want to know my overall thoughts?
Yeah, let's get your overall thoughts. I want to get your rankings of the franchise as far as.
You want my ranking? You want my ranking right now?
Yeah, as of right now,
I've had time to think about it since we talked about it on the episode.
Let's start here. Let's do it.
This is by far and away. See what I did there? This is the best one in the series so far.
Damn. No doubts in your mind. This is the best one in the series.
I thought about it because we talked about it a little bit in the episode. And I've had a little bit of time to think about it. And in the time between then and now, I am confident that 3 is now my number 2.
Wow.
This movie is a fucking masterpiece.
Wow. Well, my question about that is how to count to 10 before ranking is right. You have to see. I mean, I do want you to see it again. I can make this statement now. Well, I'm wondering if it's going to change after you get to see it. Obviously, you see something so close, you're excited about it. It's kind of have that kind of moments where like this is new and exciting to me. My question though is my first question is, it's a part 1. Is it feel like a part 1? Is it a complete enough story of being a part 1?
I'm sensing you're referring to another action blockbuster that came out that didn't manage to. No, I'm not saying you're knocking it, but
no.
I'll just come out and say it. Fast X didn't handle being a part 1 very well. This movie, it is a part 1, but you could have cut it off. This could absolutely stand alone as its own movie.
Okay.
But it doesn't kind of leave you like, well, what was that?
Right. Okay.
And it's just, you have this sense now that I get now why all the interviews with Tom and like that sound clip coming out of him on the set, like yelling at the production team, like of how this is a big deal and how like this is gonna like they're fighting for people's jobs. So much care was put into this movie, every tiny little aspect, and it just amazes me how Christian McQuarrie and Tom Cruise have gone from Top Gun Maverick to this back to back, and it's just like,
oh, good, huh?
I can't believe it. They can't miss, and it's perfect. It feels more like a part one in the way 2009 Dark Knight ended. Like the thread is that, yeah, the thread is there, but it's not, as he says, it's not lacking the conclusion. That's perfect. It's a perfect way to describe it.
That's the way it should be. That's the way a part one should work as far as in this kind of franchise. Because otherwise, it gets a little too like Harry Potter did the same thing. I didn't feel like a complete movie, really. Yes, that's it. Yes, I get your drift. I get
it.
Let me ask you this. I know that when I saw Maverick, I felt like Tom Cruise was finally starting to look his age a little bit. Not like he couldn't handle it, but he was starting to not quite be at the level that he was at. Oh, Matty, looks like we're losing Matty for a minute. Let's see what happens here. I'll kind of vamp at that point. But I noticed that in the trailer for this one, he was looking a little older as well. But I was kind of curious where that's going to go. But we'll wait for Matty to get back. Let's see. Oh, okay. His laptop shut off randomly, so he will be back in 2 seconds. We'll give him the link. I'll talk about things until we get there. Let you know if you are new to the channel, to like it, to subscribe. This is not usual for us where we do something like this. This happens every once in a while. What can you do? But we have a lot of great content coming in. I just got back from being COVIDed, so I am making up for lost times. We do have the classified episodes coming out. Matt and I just recorded our Rogue Nation episode. That will come out tomorrow. We are going to record Fallout on Saturday. That will come out on Sunday. And then next week, we will be back with a full spoiler declassified version of Dead Reckoning Part 1. Can't wait to do that because I'm seeing it on Monday, the advanced screening for sure at 7 o'clock. Just got my tickets. I cannot wait. I am so excited. Other things we got coming up on the channel, just so we know, got Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film, finally going to be able to do the Indiana Jones franchise. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull this week, and definitely Dial of Destiny next week. We got things to say about that. And here is the return of Matty Gunner.
Sorry, my laptop randomly just went into standby mode of its own accord.
It looks like somebody's trying to silence you. Looks like they're trying to hack into your network and silence you.
It's Tom. Tom's being like, "Hey, shut up." Which, by the way, I did check the embargo. We are good. So, Tom, if that is you, knock it off.
I was asking. Yes, Andres, I'm seeing the IMAX showing. I was asking that, and Tom Maverick was the first time I thought Tom Cruise was starting to look a little older. He's definitely younger. He's definitely still got that immortal side to him, but he finally felt like he's looking his age just a little bit. How did that come into play for Dead Reckoning? Was he, or is he still feel like the same Ethan Hunt?
He may look older. He definitely doesn't look old. He may look older physically, but that man has not lost a step.
All right.
He has not lost a step. And the action scenes in this are so well crafted. Some of them are fairly long. I just think like he did look like he's been enjoying some cheesecake. But the action scenes, they're longer, but they're not like, oh my God, this is going on for so long. You're more like, how the hell is this still going?
Right. So kind of like the car chase in Rogue Nation that we talked about earlier.
Yeah. It's very similar to like John Wick Chapter 4. And that you're like, holy shit! Like they're still going. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy and just let it go. But no, he absolutely is. He hasn't lost a step.
Okay, good. Let me ask you. I gotta ask you, non-spoiler, my boy. How was Benji in the movie? We got
Fantastic.
some great Benji moments.
Fantastic.
All right, I love.
He's great. But I will say, I was very shocked that she was very razor close to stealing the whole show for me. Was Haley Atwell?
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it shouldn't surprise me. Haley's a wonderful actress. So.
She's fantastic, but I didn't know if she could. I knew she was going to be an important part of the movie, but I didn't know if she'd like be able to stand up as well to actors of the likes of Tom Cruise, Rebecca Ferguson.
Right.
My God.
Well, that was my question about, real quick, I want to throw it in there. And again, keeping in mind spoiler territory, I don't want to get too much spoilers, but Haley Atwell almost felt like she was kind of like the Ilsa Faust character in terms of like you didn't know where she was, what she was doing per se. Does she replace Ilsa? Is there enough Ilsa in here that makes it worth it? Like okay, we're good in that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, we're plenty good on that. The thing I loved, and this is a non-spoiler, we talk about how you have the comedic beats of especially the later films.
Right.
There's almost I got the vibes anyway. Sometimes there's almost like rom-com elements.
Really?
In this movie. And it was just like, it wasn't like, 10 Things I Hate About You or anything like that, but like adding a more romantic comedy, at least that's the vibe, the impressions I got anyway.
Right.
I thought that was really interesting choice, and it worked.
Okay.
And I was just like, wow.
All right. Fair enough.
Another one who really struck me as how well she was I can never get her name right. It's Pom Clementif.
Oh, Pom Clementif, yeah, from Guardians of the Galaxy, yes.
She's fantastic in this.
I forgot she was in this, actually, to be honest. I forgot she was in this. Okay.
And I'm going to get into the main villain. The main villain, his name's Gabriel. And I really love what they did with her. She was almost kind of like, to pull in another John Wick comparison, she was almost kind of like Ruby Rose in John Wick 2, in that she's Gabriel's right hand. But she could more than stand on her own as a villain.
Right.
And like, she's smart. She's got this kind of quiet charisma to her.
Right.
And she's deadly.
Cool. All right. Excellent.
Which, coming from playing Mantis, you're like, it's a complete flip on its head.
Right. Absolutely. All right. I got to ask.
Okay.
Was Kit Ridge returned as everything he was cracked up to be?
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, that good, huh? All right. I can't wait for that.
When I saw it in the chat, and like, I'm treading very lightly on the spoiler territory. Yeah, I'm doing my best to like tightrope walk it. Okay. When I saw it, I was kind of like, is that just a nostalgia? Like, they're just like trying to play us off with, hey, it's Kit Ridge. No.
Okay.
But if we talk about the actual villain, Gabriel, played by Issei Morales.
All right, I gotta stop you for a second right here. You did tell me one thing about this movie. One of the few things you told me about the movie, as far as this goes, and this was non-spoiler too, because I didn't want to spoil it. You told me that Issei Morales, Gabriel, possibly could dethrone Philip Seymour Hoffman, and I gotta say, fuck you. I can't believe it's possible. Okay. But let me hear your pitch about how awesome Gabriel is.
He is bone chilling. He there seems to be like this through line of Owen Davian and Solomon Lane and now Gabriel, these like quiet, calm, calculated villains that can match Ethan.
Right.
I'm gonna say this, and maybe because I'm a prisoner in the moment and I've only seen it once, I think the only reason I would put Owen over him is because it's PSH.
Okay. That
is literally hanging by a thread.
Oh, okay.
He is just. There were some moments during the movie where he was on screen. I felt like I was getting goosebumps, and like I was shaking. Like I get like a shiver down my spine. Like sometimes I felt like genuine equal parts disgust, part fear, part like, God, I just want you to get your ass kicked so bad, dude.
Right. Well, I mean, he has been someone who's been a great performer in anything he's been in, really.
He was in Ozark, right?
He was in Ozark. He's in. I actually remember him best from. Surprise! I'm going to shock everybody here. Is from Caprica, which is the Battlestar Galactica spinoff. That's where I first introduced the character. But he really got me then and there. But yeah, he was in Ozark for a bit. 4 episodes of Ozark. He was in Titans, which I never got to see, but NCIC Los Angeles for a bit. He did a lot of films, a lot of shows. He has been waiting to bust out for a while, I feel like. So I'm excited to see. You're exciting me here because I do like the guy a lot. I always thought he had a great charisma and chemistry. So I can't wait to see more about that. Let me ask you this: how about Vanessa Kirby? How is she doing in this one?
She's awesome.
Awesome too.
I would have liked to have seen more of her, but the part that she plays, yeah, she's great. I mean, do you want me to talk about not the story plot, but like the main kind of theme?
Yeah, we can do that. Why not?
Of the movie.
Yeah.
So the main theme, I would say, and this appeals to me because as someone who's a self-admitted fan of the Metal Gear Solid franchise, anyone who's a fan of the game Metal Gear Solid 4 will appreciate this because it's about the future of warfare.
Okay.
It's about going into operations and warfare in the future, and how. I'm threading carefully, and how these things could be conducted in the future, and has very real world implications that I was like, holy shit, like sitting there like that is very close to reality. Damn. And like current events that I was like, God damn, like, and it made me like the guys in the chat saying, very Metal Gear Solid 4. What and like. Yeah, and like, dude, it's just the fact that they can do things like pull off these miraculous stunts that no one in their right mind would be able to survive, but then pull it into a story which is very real world. I was like, okay, this is a spy, and this is another thing. Like this one is much more of a spy movie, whereas the ones that like 3, 4, 5, and 6, they've been more like action movies. This one, and it felt like there were little nods to Brian De Palma, I think, in this one. In the terms of like how it was shot, how it was filmed, there were definitely some like tips of the cap, and the action. My God, there was. I'll just leave it on this, and then I'll give my score. What you guys have seen of the motorbike stunt where he rides the bike off the cliff, put it like an iceberg. You've only seen the tip. Damn. You've only seen the tip of the iceberg. When you go underwater and see what's underneath it, I was this person sitting behind me just let out a oh fuck. And everyone else was just sitting there like gobsmacked. I was like,
right,
sir, you are 60 years old. Stop doing this. How he didn't die. Now that I've seen the thing in full and like the end result,
So the motorbike is the action sequence of the movie, like the Burj Khalifa, the hang off the airplane. This is that one, or is there more? Okay,
that one I will save.
Okay,
that I
would say there is another one that's top notch.
Yeah. There is another one.
Okay,
there is another
all right. I'll take that. I mean, that's kind of cool. I will say, Andre just said I was about to say this. Marketing job has really done an amazing job. I was going to say not spoiling anything because they really haven't spoiled much. And I feel like with the trailers we've seen, we haven't gotten much at all. But it's been like just enough to tease you, just enough to go, okay, this is what's going to happen a little bit. So yeah, I can't wait.
You're a baseball fan. This is them like winding up.
Right, the wind up.
You're waiting for the swing to come. Is it going to hit? Is it going to miss?
Right. And
that sucker's going flying out the park with this one.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
And it just makes me think. It genuinely, like, I walked out and I turned to the person I was with. I was like, how the fuck are they going to top that for part 2?
Let me ask you this. Tonally speaking, I got to say, like, we've been saying how good the franchise has been, but if you look at, like, Mission Impossible 1 was a pretty basic spy thriller kind of thing. 2 was very woo, which we know that. 3 had the action sequences with the drama. 4 was kind of like an adventure, kind of a fun adventure. 5 and 6 were kind of like this, like, storyline continuated, and it became more of an epic storyline, I think. Where does this one fall as far as that goes, tonally speaking? Is it in line with 5 and 6, or is it like, do we go back to 1 or 3 even?
I would say it's in line with 5 and 6, but leans heavily on 1.
Okay.
It's very much more of a spy movie.
It's like a return to the original to a degree, but with more of the effects and action beats of, like, 4 and 5.
Yeah, it's like 1, but on a way bigger scale.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair. Apparently, they already have plans to top it. Of course,
I genuinely have no idea how.
Fair enough. All right, one thing I do have to ask you. Speaking of its return to 1 and all that kind of thing, it was kind of mentioned as, like, you're not the first one to say they're doing callbacks to the franchise. Initially, like we said, this was supposed to be the send-off to Ethan Hunt, and I felt like they were going to try to, like, bring back in the franchise and everything else. Were there? You don't have to say who, but were there, like, surprise appearances that weren't leaked or we don't know? Was there moments where like, oh, he's back, or something to that effect? We know Kit Ridge, obviously, but is there more?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I want to know. I don't know who. I'm kind of curious. I'm excited about it. One more. This is one spoiler question I will ask. It is not a spoiler review. Is Ed Harris in it? Okay, well, I'm going to sell my ticket, and I'm going to go on regular Wednesday then, because obviously they fucked up. But it's all right. Maybe part 2. Maybe part 2.
Sorry.
That's actually a good question, too. Do we ever find out what the fuck the rabbit's foot actually is?
I don't know, but apparently it's in Paris.
Oh, there you go. All right. Awesome. All right. Well, then, I guess last thing, if you have any questions for Matty, get them in the chat. We're going to wrap this up, this little non-spoiler review. Talk about your rankings and your ratings. Let's go from there.
Rating 11 out of 10, 6 out of 5. This I was genuinely, I feel like a lot. This is a deeper conversation that I'm sure you and PJ are gonna have when you talk about Dial of Destiny. There has, as I said at the start of this, there has been a lot of, like, talk about burnout of going to the movies and, like, blockbuster after blockbuster, and, you know, with the cost of living crisis and everything going on in the world in the minute, I feel like it's very difficult to find a movie to sit in and just immerse yourself in.
Right.
I truly feel like if there is one to do it this summer, if it ain't Barbie, it has to be this.
Okay, that's fair.
And rankings, this is as of today. I'm going to see it again on Monday at the BFI IMAX. As of right now, it would be Dead Reckoning Part 1, 3, Rogue Nation, Fallout, Ghost Protocol, 2, 1.
Okay. Good to know. It's good to always have those rankings to see, because there's such different feels of the franchise. It's always good to see where a relation it would fall in terms of what your other rankings have been. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I appreciate you doing this for us, and I'm glad you got the chance to do it. Hopefully, you can get some more. Repeat this. Keep that friend on speed dial, and for Dead Reckoning Part 2, you can do that again. Maybe I'll find a way over, and maybe I'll crash it. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks so much, Matt. Matty's looking at any questions in the chat at this point. So we appreciate you giving us this non-spoiler review. Stay tuned. We mentioned before for the Declassified rolled out coming out. We got tomorrow Rogue Nation. Sunday going to be Fallout. And then next week we'll be doing a Declassified on full spoiler Declassified on Dead Reckoning Part 1. Yeah, that's it. You can find me at Paul _Denuzio on Twitter and on Paul Denuzio at Threads, which I've joined now recently. Where can the folks find you, Matty?
You can find me on Instagram and Threads at Matty_Gunner. You can find me on Twitter just until Tom Cruise follows me on Threads. Then I'm out of that bitch. You can find my band Mourner, Mourner, on all streaming platforms. And Tom, if you're watching this, bravo. If you'd have debuted this at Cannes and I had been in that audience, I wouldn't care if I was the last one standing. That would have been an hour-long standing. Oh, baby.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Really appreciate you guys. Check out the channel. If it's your first time here, like, subscribe. We got a bunch of different stuff going on. Podcasts on franchises, Too Big or Way to Use on film, Classified Mission Impossible, maybe something else eventually there. We got Holy Snooks, a Star Wars podcast that me and Matty do, finally returning next week. I do a show called Review on the sci-fi franchise of V from the 80s and 2009's reboot. Do Crown Jewels on my sister YouTube channel, PLD Project Crown Jewels, Journey Through Queen. And the Harristonts will make its debut the end of this month. It's coming. So,
finally.
That's it. But that's not hit now. That's later on. Today we're talking about Mission Impossible, and we will be back for more. It's a big Mission Impossible week here on PLD Projects.
With that being said, we are now disavowed.